campaign to stop Buc-ee's?
Holton work that.
Morning, Richland County. It is 9:31 on Thursday, March 26th. The County Board of Commissioners is now in session. County Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow commissioners Vero and Banks. Senior Clerk Stacy Crawl. We are joined by King Arthur, AKA Ken Arthur, and the Director of Building Codes, Steve Risser. And online we have Carl.
Carl, did you know Ken, after 1 billion years working for the county, is retiring?
Only 1 billion?
36,
Live the king.
36 and a half.
Sounds like a good article.
Sounds like a good time to retire. Maybe we'll go out together.
Camelot is over.
Carl will have a reception in in the Longview conference rooms on Friday from 2 to 4 if you want to come out and eat some cake and say hi.
Friday 2
Goodbye.
to 4. I'm off on Fridays, but I will see if we can have somebody out there. I think that's good.
Carl's
And I
on the
think-
college professor schedule. He's got
Uh-huh.
tenure and working on Fridays not allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, how many college professors work Sundays, counselor?
Not many.
And we're also joined by now Greg Kale from WMFD.
Correct.
So with that, Steve,
Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you. Just in some of the steps with Ken's retirement, I've set before you our proposed organizational chart, what staffing will look like as of April 1st in our office. Directly, I would like to ask for formal action from the Board of Commissioners this morning to appoint myself as the building official for the department and for the county. We need to update our personnel structure with the state, the Board of Building Standards that certifies our department for local building code enforcement. And when we have change in department administration, we need to formally notify them, and they typically ask for some sort of recognition or approval from our appointing authority. So I updated our department organizational chart, what that'll look like come April 1, with myself now assuming the duties of the building official, as well as handling, the overall department administration and the commercial plan review. So again, we've got Jared and Eric as our inspectors. They handle the residential plan review and most of the inspection duties. I'll pick up a little bit of inspection duty here and there with Ken's absence. We have Jeff Eaton, who's a contract employee. We've had that contract since late 2024. Jeff primarily handles overflow plan review duties.
as needed, right?
Yeah, on an as needed basis. And he's also our backup building official now that every required personnel position we have to have a primary, we have to have a backup. So Jeff will serve as the backup building official. There's no change in contract status needed for that. I did reflect Mark Miller on there from the city of Mansfield. That's our contract with the city. Mark's their only employee now, but we have Mark as an available resource if we need to use him for inspection duties. We haven't needed to use that at all. And then we have Michelle. Michelle Jordan's our office manager. Amy Smith is our full-time administrative assistant that's also there. And then through the first week of May, we have Rhonda Bletner. She's part-time and temporary through the first week of May. So Rhonda will fall off there in about another month. So that's what we're going to look like employee and staffing wise going forward.
How things going with Michelle now that she's back from medical? She's been back a while now, but
She's been back.
like 100%.
She's been back since August of last year. So she's back in the loop getting things done. So The only other, the last couple of years with loss in territories, change in staffing in the department, we're a smaller department. We've got smaller territory, but in all honesty, not covering those more remote areas, it's allowed us to be a lot more responsive. And I think that's something that we continue to strive for, is how we can, continue to be more responsive. Always polishing the customer service into things, working with the owners, the contractors, the designers that are doing business with us. Our next big step is the software that we've been discussing about. I've got a meeting actually with Rachel Stevens, Rachel Troyer. Stevens was her former name when I first started here, and it still registers about 50-50 between Troyer and Stevens. But I've got a meeting with Rachel after this to polish and finalize our document for our request for proposal. It's our hope that we'll be back next week with a final product for the board to review. And we've got a proposed schedule in there for advertising, and all the way through selection of a consultant to implement the software. Again, we were a little bit behind getting through internally where we needed to be. So we've got a little bit more of an aggressive schedule than what we'd like to get that RFP advertised, reviewed, interviewed. But hopefully we can keep that moving.
As that's available, send it up to us so we can review it prior to.
Yeah, that's my plan, is hopefully this afternoon or tomorrow morning, we'll have all the comments addressed and all the spell check errors.
Can we take away points for grammar mistakes too?
Yeah.
Motion to appoint Mr. Risser as the building official.
Second,
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
yes.
Commissioner Vero?
Yes. King, we're gonna miss you, brother.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute pleasure working with you. But we know you'll be around.
Speed dial.
Yep.
We got your number.
Yep.
Gentlemen, thank you. And Ken, thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow for the celebration.
He's not gonna jump out of his own.
Any final words?
Yeah, you got,
And any last speech you'd like to make?
I don't think so. It's just, if we do our job, nothing happens.
that's a good answer.
Okay, sounds like a quote for.
You got that, Greg?
It'll make it to the TV too. How long have you worked with the county?
36 and a half years.
And always in the building department, or always?
Yes. I started in the building department and I'm leaving in the building department.
But not on the same office location. How many office
No,
locations?
we moved 5 times. Period.
Wow.
We've been in Longview since April of 2006. So that's the longest tenure by far that they've ever been in a single office.
20 years.
Where besides you were in the basement of the park building here?
Well, we had 2 locations over there. We were in where Elaine
Tax
is,
map?
at 99 Park Avenue. Oh, I actually started in the city building when we were a combined. The city and the county were one department. Then we split, went over here. They put the ramp in, so we had to move. And then we moved over here, then to 99. And that's when we moved out to Longview. The plan was that it would be a one-stop shop for all the departments, or someone applying, they could come out there, they could get
Soil and water.
plumbing, soil and water. That did not happen, but it's a nice space out there. And it's pretty
Quarter or something.
convenient to the Route 30, which gets us, to where we need to go quickly.
Well, you've been great to work with, Ken. You're a person, I value your character, your judgment. You've been around so long, you're tough, obviously. So you've been a treat.
Thank you.
I appreciate all you've done. Alan?
Maybe just in your time with the county, is there any particular project or growth in the county that kind of stands out as a milestone to you?
Well, I would say when I first started, there was a lot of catching up to do. A lot of things had kind of like been lax. So, just grooming the contractors and the builders. We're not out to make their life miserable. We're out to make things safe. And so we did a lot of mentoring and training of them. And the building codes have actually gotten more stringent with things. And so, as that evolves, just working with the contractors and everything. Okay, I think the one thing that helps a lot is to leave your ego at home and say, hey, we need this. The code is requiring this because of this safety measure. And once it makes sense to the contractors, they're less likely to resist. So just like I said, mentoring. We might be a speed bump sometimes, but we try not to be a roadblock.
More words of wisdom.
Put it down. Carl, do you have anything for Ken or Steve?
Yeah, just a couple. Ken, what year did you start? I came to town and worked. You started at the News Journal in 1990. Were you there in 90 or did you start in 89?
It's September 12th, 1989.
And what would you say, Ken, are the biggest, one or two biggest changes you've seen in the job that you do since you started?
Well, I think one of the biggest changes is that several years ago, Reynoldsburg, which is over all the building departments, became a lot more interactive, and you were able to interact with the people down there, find out, okay, so the code is saying this, what is your interpretation? How should we be looking at it? They've become a lot more helpful in Reynoldsburg, and I attribute that to 4 or 5 people that work down there, which many of them have retired at this point. But just communicating is one of the most important things. There's not a day that goes by I'm not on the telephone with a design professional or a contractor, trying to say, okay, so this is what I'm seeing. How are you going to deal with this? So just having that open communication, and the inspectors in the field, when they come back, they're free to come back and when they have questions, we try to explain, okay, so, this is required because of this, So I think communication with the individuals is key. And it typically isn't a job where you make a lot of friends, but hopefully you don't make a lot of enemies.
Now, when you started out, Ken, what was your first job in the building department?
Well, I was hired in, and that was the time when there actually were not certifications. They just began requiring certifications for the positions. So my building inspector certification number was 33 in the state. And then from there, I went on to get my electrical safety inspector. And as the years progressed and my predecessor, Mr. Marcus, retired, he encouraged me to become the building official, which I did. And so that was in about 2006. So I've done that position for 20 years.
And where are you from originally? Where did you go to school?
I'm from Mansfield. I went to Carpenter School, Brinkerhoff School, Johnny Appleseed, and then Mansfield Senior High.
What year did you graduate from there?
1975.
All right. Between 75 and 89, were you in the building industry, or how did you happen to become interested in this life?
I was a contractor, mostly residential, but I did some non-residential or commercial jobs. And a friend of mine was elected as commissioner, and the position became available, and he told me about it, said, hey, maybe you want to try this. So I thought, okay, and I'll get a paid vacation out of it. Maybe, you know, a sick day off or something. So it was quite a cut in pay, but I stuck with it, and it's been a good run.
Steve, and you were talking about your revised org chart. I know in the newspaper industry, corporations always talked about how we could do more with less, but it seems like that you're going to try to do more with less, or at least the same with less.
That's correct, Carl. So since I started back here at the county in 2024, you know, there's some territory that we used to cover, some of the other outside counties, that had gone away and gone to, other means for building code enforcement. You know, it's a reduction in activity, so it's also a function of not so much doing more with less. I mean, we have less activity, so we're trying to also live within our means. And you know, the lion's share of our budget is personnel. So it's hard to cut equipment. It's hard to cut. We don't have programs or things like that get funded. So it's really hard to, you know, when it comes to our budget to make cuts, and usually that's in personnel in one form or the other. So with Ken's retirement, and one of our other full-time clerks, that was not backfilled, that position became vacant in the fall of 23, right before I started. We went from a director and a full-time plans examiner, down to just myself as the director and the plans examiner. We did have some contract plans examiners that did work for us. You know, we've only got one contract with those for now. That contract for this year's budget, we did budget just a few more dollars for that, in anticipation of some of Ken's review work not being able to be done, obviously in-house, and some larger projects that are on the horizon that we know that are coming to the county as well. So, but we've also got that. So we've lost, you know, effectively a full-time plans examiner, Ken's position that will not be backfilled, a full-time clerk, and then we had another part-time clerk retire last year, and that's what we filled on a temporary basis. So yeah, it's a function of for the most part doing a little bit more with less, although we have less activity than we did 4 years ago. But we've also got some software, the software project that we talked about, to help modernize and create some workflow that will help us effectively do it more efficiently with less staff.
Now, I think one of the territories was Gallion, or was it all of Crawford County that you guys used to do?
We still handle the city of Gallion for commercial building code enforcement. We handle their residential electrical inspections, and we do all of the commercial building code enforcement in Crawford County.
So which territories did you lose?
Wyandotte County, Seneca County, and Huron County. Those were in the 2023 neighborhood. Ken, that was before.
Mhm.
And then Ashland, the city of Ashland created a building department in 20 or 21.
Yeah.
And so Ashland
Definitely.
started their own building department, and the county went with Ashland cities for building code enforcement.
Okay. The computer software that you're talking about, that you're going to be coming back next week on, what sorts of things are you going to expect that software to do in general?
From a high level, it will provide a better online application experience for both customers and our staff. It will automate some things. It will better facilitate submission of electronic plans and return of those electronic plans to customers. Commercially, we're probably at least 80 to 85% electronic plans now. So it'll facilitate that, just the document transmission and handling of those documents a lot better. It'll allow for online scheduling of inspections. So all our inspections will move from paper tickets to an online system. And just create some workflow procedures where, they're manual workflows right now. So we'll have some workflow that's automated, some that is done by the click of a button as opposed to, physically typing information. Right now, from the most basic type of inspection that we would do, whether it's the owner writing an address on an application or us writing an address on an application when somebody comes in to help them fill that out, we'll write or type an address at least 5 times. Obviously, repetitive data input, there's, room for fat fingers or, keyboard errors. Potentially the software will take that down to where we have to write it or type it no times. It'll pull from the auditor's property information. As long as everything's accurate, it carries through.
Okay. Well, that's what I had. Thank you very much. Ken, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just your last name,
Arthur.
Arthur.
King Arthur.
His kingdom.
THUR.
Correct.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Gentlemen, thank you.
You. Look forward to tomorrow and having a taco or two if they're there.
No,
Kim hasn't told us what she's bringing, so
I can't eat meat. I'm Catholic, it's Lent.
we have plenty of
I thought,
friendly options.
That's what I like to hear.
I thought you were a bad hunter.
Ha, 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 ha. That too.
Well, the one thing that I am most proud of is 36 and a half years, no scandal.
Hey, your time ain't up, pal. Your time ain't up. We still got a whole.
I mean, if you think about it.
I know.
That was one thing, I don't know if I ever told you guys the story, but the Cuyahoga County scandal, we were scheduled to meet, we had an appeal hearing with a contractor. It's either 2008 or 2009, and we had talked to the prosecutor's office, just a couple minor legal things. And anyways, we get to this hearing and nobody shows up. And this was in the infant days of cell phones, not a lot of people were texting and, the messaging and things like that. So these guys don't show up and we call, we're trying to get a hold and we can't get a hold of anybody. So, we just asked the board for a continuance until we could get a hold and figure out what's going on. Well, the hearing was over in Ashland, we drive back and I got like 3 voicemails from the prosecutor's office. And at that time, Mike Murray was head of the civil division over there. And, so I call Mike back and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, have you read the paper today? It was when the Cuyahoga County, what am I thinking about? The scandal that happened in Cuyahoga County. But a lot of public agencies, a lot of private agencies, the day of our hearing was the day that the FBI raided everybody.
That's not our county, Carl.
Not our county, no, but the day that the FBI raided all these offices up there, like it was one massive raid. Well, one of them was this contractor and their architect that was going for this variance. It was for a job over in Ashland. And, so Mike and I talked for I don't know how long about this, and then we watched that and then just the ripple effect, in my mind, in a good way, that came through us because we had public records policies that were completely reviewed and updated and buttoned up in a good way. We did a bunch of ethics training. I mean, a lot of good training that came out of it.
Yeah,
But,
that's back That was back in the days of County Auditor Frank Russo, I think County Commissioner Jimmy DeMora.
Demora.
Cuyahoga County did away with a board of commissioners at that point and went to a county administrator because of that.
Yeah, they had a referendum at and that was right in the period, like after all this was set off. That was in the recession, the 2008 through 2012, 13 recession, where the state was pushing lean. The state was pushing lean principles, lean practices to streamline government and shared services and things like that. And there were a lot of conversations about shared, combined cities and counties, and the different forms of governments that are allowed, whether it's a statutory form of government or, in the case of Cuyahoga County, there was a referendum that came out to establish a county charter and established a county council where they had the county administrator.
And nine councilmen
Yeah.
do it.
And at the time, if I remember, Summit County was the only other county.
I think there's 3 of them now.
Okay. Summit County was the only county at the time that may have had a charter county form of government where you have a council and an administrator, so to speak. But that was some learning experiences, and there were some. We do the ethics training every year with a lady named Susan Wilkie from the Ethics Commission that she's great at what she does. She's absolutely fantastic. We all joke that she should have been a game show host. But she just brings a lot of passion to what she does. But like some of the training and like some of the things that you heard, I'm like, seriously? So, but anyways, yeah, no scandal, but we learned a lot. That's the other thing too. We always, try and learn from our mistakes, and that one we learned a lot from other people's mistakes, and we're a little long-winded on that one.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
See you tomorrow afternoon.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Earl, thank you.
See you tomorrow, King.
See ya.
So before we get into the other business, we have an executive. Oh, no, we don't. No. I thought the executive session was 10:30. We need to see if Dale Hartle is there. He hasn't stepped in, so I'm assuming he's not here.
I would assume he is, because I heard Heather talking to somebody. She must not have let him in. Yeah, he's here. She's letting him in. He's always early.
Hello there.
Morning.
How are you all today?
Good.
Doing well. So we're still in session right now, and entering the room is Dale Hartle from Ohio Regional Development to talk about the TIP grant with Shelby. So whenever you get yourself settled, now that you've just walked in. Well, see what you got going on.
What's up, Mr. Chip?
Hey, how are you
Good to
today?
see you, brother.
Haven't seen you for a while.
Aren't you lucky?
It's a good movie title.
That was one of my favorite shows, Chips.
Was good.
Well, I was thinking Mr. Chip Goes to Washington.
How are you today?
I'm good, sir.
I'm still ready to go back to the restaurant.
Are you? Tell Tony that. Stepped out. He needs to hear that. Thank you.
How are you today?
How are you today,
I'm
Dan?
good. I'm good.
Good. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Hartle, whenever you're ready, floor is yours.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to be here. I stopped by for 2 reasons. First of all, to give you a little update on the current CHIP program. I passed out a sheet to you there. And if you'll turn to the second page, we'll talk about the 24 CHIP program, which ends up in March of 27.
Dale, for the record, could you define CHIP?
Community Housing Improvement Program.
Thank you.
And so the CHIP program was $700,000 for the city of Shelby and Richland County. Shelby administered the grant. And so the expected outcomes are highlighted there, is to do 5 owner rehabs throughout the 2-year period. 2 of them are active currently. There's 1 on a bid tour and 1 of them is being rebid. So that would take it to 4. And so there's only to be 5 a total done. So it needs to be done a year from right now. So we're moving along very well. The owner rehabs, the owner repairs, there are to be 11. There's 4 active and 1 is in a bid tour right at the present. And so by May the 31st, we have to have 50% of the monies committed, which we certainly will have. And by November the 30th, we have to have 100% of the money committed. And we anticipate that happening as well. The work has to be done by February of next year, 27. Any questions so far?
I'll refresh my memory. What is Ocean?
Ocean is the 2 things. You know, there's one out there on the south of Florida.
Yeah.
No, Ocean is the program that we enter the data in with the state of Ohio. So that's just a conveyance so that when we do a project, we enter it into Ocean, you know, and that's how the state of Ohio keeps track of the money and so forth. So if you look at the first page of the 2 that I gave you, it talks about the CHIP program for 2026. It's time to apply for the CHIP program again, and there will be $700,000 available, assuming the state has enough money by that time to still fund them, but they've done a pretty good job so far. So there's 2 or 3 types of programs that are available, and they're listed on the front of the program. The owner rehabilitation program is available, and we have to spend the bulk of the money on the owner rehab program. That's made up of home dollars, which comes from Washington. So with that program, we can spend up to $85,000 per home of people who are qualified to be worked with, okay? So I brought along a little sheet with me because a lot of times people, commissioners or mayors say, well, how much can they make and still be worked with? And so the limits are actually different for every county, slightly. Then not all of them are different, but many of them are. So in Mansfield and Crawford and Richland County, the low income is 80% of the income, and one person in the household can make up to $47,700. If there are let's say 4 people in the household, they can make $68,150. And I'll leave this with the clerk so that you have this if you'd like to have that for reference. So we can spend up to, for those who qualify, and the qualifier is the income of a person or their household. So we can spend up to $85,000 per household for those who qualify. Now, we don't go in and just do cosmetic things of putting down carpet and painting walls and things. These are things like furnaces and hot water heaters and electrical systems and roofs and windows and doors and maybe a sidewalk going up to the house. So construction type of things is what we can do with that. If there's a hole in the wall, we'll fix the hole in the wall and we'll paint that wall in that area. But we don't go painting. We don't do painting as usual, or we don't just do carpet. If we are constrained to look at the floor of the bathroom and the kitchen to be sure that that has a good, clean, non-permeable surface. So if they need to be replaced, we'll replace the floor in the kitchen or the bathroom. So if we can do the work that needs to be done in any given house with $85,000 as a limit, we'll do that, you know. If it takes, let's say, $90,000 to do the job, we'll have to walk away from it because they want us to bring it up to the residential rehab standards. It says on your sheet there, the RRS, that's residential rehab standards. And if we can't do that, we have to walk away from it. In most cases, we can. There's a 5-year declining mortgage put on the home, so we don't fix it up and they move out and sell it. But at the end of 5 years, that mortgage is totally forgiven. Okay, so if someone lives there 4 years and there's a death in the family or they move out of state or something like that, they would need to pay 20% of it back. And that comes to the county CHIP program. And it's reused again in a like manner, like projects. Rental rehabilitation money is available as well. Same things apply there. It's $85,000 limit per house. There are a couple of differences with rental rehab, though. The first difference is that the qualifying income is based upon the renter who lives in the home, not the landlord. Quite frequently, the landlords are going to have a higher income and not be eligible, but we're really trying to help low to moderate income families. And so it's based upon the family that lives there. That's the first thing. The second thing is we have a limit of $85,000. The third thing is, and this is the thing that blows rental rehab out of the water as a rule, is that the state has decided that rental rehabs, the landlords have to put in 50% of the money. And they feel like they should share in that cost there. Up under the owner rehab of $85,000, no one puts in anything except the state program. But under rental rehab, 50% of it has to be borne by the landlord. That blows most of them out of the water. The repair assistance program has a limit of $30,000 per house. Again, the same income guidelines apply that I've read to you earlier. And we can do 1 or 2 items on a house if it's just an owner repair. We're not going to do more than that with the amount of money available. 30,000 is the limit there. And so we typically end up doing maybe a furnace or a hot water heater or an electrical system in any combination of 2 or 3 things that are of critical nature there. Homeowner assistance is available. Again, $85,000 is the limit. The problem with home ownership is it's a great program. I've done it before, but there's several things that have to happen. The first is a person has to meet the income guidelines that I've read to you. The second thing is they have to go out and find a home that they want to buy, and that is fixable, that has, a few enough things wrong with it that we can go in and fix it. The third thing is we can put money in to help with the down payment assistance, and that's great. But let's say we put $20,000 in to help with the down payment assistance. Our maximum to spend there is $85,000. So you take $20,000 out that we spent on the DPA down payment, and that leaves you $60,000, $65,000 to fix the house up. When we leave that house, it has to be brought up to the residential rehab standards, just like the other programs do. So that makes it a very difficult project to sell because for the person to find a house, for the house they have to get finance for the rest of the house, and for them to get financed and we put in a down payment, and then have enough money left to fix the house, that's a tight squeeze. So there's a DPA program as well, tenant-based rental assistance. And that works with your local housing authority, and we can spend up to $12,000 per family on helping them with rental assistance. The housing authority has to have enough sufficient amount of vouchers to keep their rent going on after this program ends. That knocks them out a lot of times because most housing authorities are pretty well tied up with their vouchers. You know, they don't have, as a rule, they don't have a lot of extra vouchers just lying around. So that's available if people can qualify. So the application date for this grant is June the 20th of this year. The grant award would be made December the 1st if we're funded. Completion date is February 28th, 2029. And the end of the grant is April the 30th of 2029. So it's a 2-year grant. We'll apply for it in June. The city of Shelby will be the grantee. But we would need, since the county is going to be participating in it, we need a resolution from you to say we support it. You know, we will supply that resolution form. My staff will send it to her and she'll get it on the agenda. And we have ample time to do that. You know, I'm just out doing my homework early, you know. So
Telling us what it's all about.
does that help you out any?
Yes.
Yes, covered all the bases.
I think it's important folks have many things under your responsibility. This is just one of them, you know, and it's impossible for you to remember every little nuance of this. But I'm always here. You have my
I
card.
appreciate the information for sure.
You know,
You came out, spend the time to explain this all to us.
You get that resolution to Stacy and we'll take a vote on it.
appreciate it. Thank you for your
Thanks, Dave.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Carl still on the line?
Yes.
Carl, do you have any questions for Mr. Hartle?
No, but thank you very much.
Either I covered it all or bamboozled him, one or the other.
I don't see whether one is worse than the other. That's both good, the way I look at it.
All right. Stacy,
Thanks, Dale. Have a good one, bud.
thank you. That's the income.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to see you all.
Our pleasure.
Drive safe.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
10:13, why don't we pick up our other agenda items prior to our calling for an executive session. So could I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings for March 24th?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
A motion to approve requisition.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve weekly additional appropriation?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
We have before us a utility permit application from Charter for installation of fiber cable on Horning Road. Can I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Okay, and we have a regular child support 4B contracts with domestic court and the sheriff. I'd like to put those together in one motion if I may. Could I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
And the last item on our regular agenda is to authorize advertising for the Marion Avenue Bridge replacement.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
And if I can make a last note on that bridge replacement, the estimated construction cost is $1,013,610. Carl, questions on any of that?
Yeah, where's the bridge on Marion Avenue that he wants to replace?
Let's see.
I don't think it says.
think it's,
No, it does not.
I think it's west of Millsboro, but don't quote me on that. Guess you have to talk to Adam.
If it helps, Carl, the identifier on this project is RIC-CR 146-0.04.
RICCR 146.0.04.
That's right.
Okay, I'll look it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Concludes our regular agenda items. We have and I'll ask for an executive session at 10:30, but right now it's 10:16. Like to go into recess until 10:30. We'll union negotiations with wastewater. Chief. It is 10:30 a.m. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. We're joined by Kelly Christensen from HR and Amanda Miller, the Director of the Wastewater Treatment Plant. We're going to talk about how union negotiations are going. Could I have a motion for executive session?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
It is 10:40 a.m. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is out of executive session. There is no action to be taken at this time. Is there any further business to come before the board? Hearing none, we stand adjourned at 10:40 a.m.